Good morning. This is Jennifer Sanchez. You are listening to the WISE Coffee Chat show on WRMN 1410. You're also watching it on our social media platforms. Wow. On WISE Jennifer Sanchez, WISE Coffee Chat. Super excited to be here this morning with our guest. And before I pass on the mic to him to introduce himself, my name is Jennifer Sanchez. I'm the founder of the WISE Alliance Network, as well as I'm a real estate investor. I'm also the director at Illinois Media School for Career Services, and I'm a mom of 3 beautiful girls. I'm pretty sure I missed something else and I'm the newest. My book just came out in May called Wise Women Empower Women. So make sure you guys get your copy of that on Amazon.com. But that's enough about me. I'll pass it over to my guest. Hey, Brock, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Yourself?
Good.
Thank you for having me on here.
Nice.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. So, Brock, tell us a little bit about you, who you are.
Yeah, so basically I'm just an entrepreneur at heart. I shifted. Now I'm more so in the credit and the funding space. So I'm super big on helping individuals kind of, understand that everything starts out with the credit, right? So I can take somebody from the beginning and get them over to the end. So that's kind of what I'm focusing on now. And a lot of my credit does go into real estate. So I'm kind of in both of those like sectors and everything. And that's kind of what me and my company do at this point.
That's pretty cool. So tell us a little bit about how, because I met you through the real estate side.
Yeah.
And we were, I think it was it a network? I don't know if it was social media first where we connected.
I'm pretty sure it's social media.
Social media?
Yeah.
Okay. So we connected on social media, and then I actually met you at real estate events.
Correct, yeah.
What led you to fall into real estate? That's my question.
Honestly, it was just after reading a lot of books and studying, and when I got started, I was working jobs and I was making money. I actually got started into investing. Like I was into all the stocks and I was in crypto as well. So that's where I started. And then once I started to read about individuals that were successful and wealthy, it all kind of pointed to real estate. So once I started to double down onto that and learn about it, I kind of just went all in. I joined some mentorships like Sub 2 and everything, and that's where my real estate experience starts. Like that's where it started, and then that's where I doubled down and I just continued to learn and get in that field, and now that's where most of my connections are from, and that's where most of my money actually goes now.
Nice. Let me ask you, so how old were you, just because I know you're young?
Yeah.
How old were you when you started all of this?
So I started buying I was actually buying crypto in 2017. So I was actually only like 16 years old when I started doing that. And then I started getting into like all the stocks and the real estate stuff around the age of 19 or so.
Wow.
So that's kind of when I shifted my mindset and started, taking my money and doing what I was supposed to do with it.
Wow.
So,
and how long you been in the real estate game now?
about 4 years, almost 5. So.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah.
That's impressive, because I know it's not easy. And then I always think like younger men or guys that get into real estate, like they kill it.
Yeah.
Because you guys don't have responsibilities, right?
100%.
Like you guys can 100% put all your energy in. I mean, I've watched it, right? So that's pretty cool. Yeah. So you also started in wholesaling, right? When you started real estate. So tell me a little bit about how I know you got into real estate because of the groups. Well, what led you to wholesaling, and what is wholesaling?
So wholesaling is basically just like selling the contract for purchase of a property. So it's like you can go find a property, you can get it locked up under a purchase agreement for $180,000, and if you can find a buyer for $220, you can close on it, and then you can make an assignment fee, which would be that difference. I kind of started there because when I joined all the mentorships and stuff I did, it kind of led me to that, because I was looking like, this is easy and I can go make this money and I don't have to buy the house and I don't have to do all these things, which fast forward, I learned that's not really the case at all, right?
I know.
But that's kind of where it started, and I just went down the rabbit hole and started cold calling individuals and pulling lists and learning how to, kind of navigate that. And I did that for about 2 years or so, completed some deals, and then that's when I shifted. But I actually got my first wholesale deal around 3 months after joining my first community, And that deal I got, it was actually insane because I didn't get it the way that everybody else was talking about. So my ex-girlfriend at the time, I was actually at her house, and her neighbor, like, I seen him moving all his stuff out. I actually went over there. I talked to the guy, ended up getting the property under a contract, and I wholesaled it, and it was really, really cool. And I JV'd with somebody, and he was supposed to bring a buyer, and the buyer fell through like 4 days before closing. So at this point, I'm thinking it's not going to close, right? And I actually posted the house on Craigslist, and I found a buyer on Craigslist from Craigslist a week before closing.
Is Craigslist still active?
Oh, yeah.
Like, do people still
we
sell
do a lot
Craigslist?
of marketing on there still
Do
to
you?
this. Oh my God, to this day.
Oh wow.
We rent out a lot of cars on Craigslist too.
Okay, wow. And that's here in Chicago, or is there some? I know you like to travel a lot, and
yeah.
you're big on traveling. So oh no. But so with all of that, with the wholesaling side, I know how hard wholesaling is. Like, that is not an easy part of the industry. I know I did a couple wholesales before I got into the rehabbing and the rentals. And the fact that you got a buyer just because you saw someone by your ex-girlfriend's house move out, right? Like that. And I think maybe that's because also when we're in real estate, our ears are always open to like, and I know someone's like, that sounds kind of vulture-ish, right? Like, we're constantly kind of like, oh, you want to sell your house? Oh, you're gonna lose your house, or you can't pay your mortgage. Like, maybe we can help you, right? That's kind of like our mindset. So how did you feel after you got your first wholesale deal?
That was really like the proof of concept, and I think that's kind of what made me like double down on it, because at the time I was doing everything. I was making the phone calls. I had all the opportunities, but they never panned out. You know, I didn't understand the paperwork. I didn't understand how all the escrow stuff worked, like going to title. So before you do a deal, like, it was really hard for me to like grasp that concept. And it's like, man, I'm doing all this work and I'm not seeing any benefits from it, or whatever the case is. But once I closed and got that check, it was like, okay, like, this is real.
This actually works. Yeah.
Like, this is like a real thing. And that's what made me like double down on everything.
Yeah. Are you you're from Chicago? You're not from Chicago, right?
So I was actually born in Rockford.
In
Rockford.
And where were you raised?
I was actually raised in Rockford and in Peoria. Yeah, so it's like I got two hometowns. My dad is from up here, and then my other family's down there.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, I was just curious because I know you have an accent, so I was trying to figure out where that was from.
And then I lived in the South for a couple years too.
Really? Okay, so you picked some of that accent over there too.
No, 100%. 100%.
That's awesome. So, I mean, I remember when I got my first check, I remember my dad thought that wholesaling and real estate was fake. And I remember, like, I got involved in a community, and he was like, straight, like, they're robbing you. This is not true. You can't make money this way. And finally, remember, when I got my first check, I showed it to him, and he was like, oh, okay. Like, maybe this is right, you know? And then when I got my second wholesale check, I showed it to him, and he was like, okay, I think now you're showing off. You know, like, I think he was kind of like, okay, now, like, I get it. You're rubbing it in my face. I was like, no, I wasn't trying. I'm just showing you, like, this is true. This really works.
Yeah, this can be done, yeah.
So I know you still do real estate, but what led you into the credit side? I mean, I know why, but, you know, what led into the credit side?
So what actually led into the credit side for me was... So when I moved to Chicago and did all the wholesale stuff, the way I was actually able to do that was I actually lived on business credit for like a year. And that gave me the time to like double down on wholesaling and go find these deals and go close on them. And then it wasn't until after I accidentally funded myself, like my brand new LLC, I got like 60 grand. And I didn't realize the power that held until after I got into business and after I spoke to individuals, right? So once I put two and two together with that and figured out that I could turn that into a business, I started to, I fixed my family's credit, started reading about all the consumer laws and what these companies can and cannot do. And that was more fascinating to me than like pursuing real estate deals, right? So I just learned all that stuff, started taking on clients and helping individuals do that, turned it into a business. And what led me to it was, one, understanding that real estate's cool, but it doesn't matter what business you're in, everybody needs money. Whether you have a restaurant, whether you're doing whatever, everybody can use money. So I saw more opportunity in that area. And then also because credit is king to me. Literally. So it's like once I learned how to do it and I had this proof of concept, not only from myself and then all the other people that I ended up helping, it was like, okay, I need to monetize this and, roll with this instead.
What do you mean by you lived off credit?
Yeah. So basically on the business side, there's multiple banks where you can go get 0% interest cards. Mm-hmm. So what I ended up doing was I went to Amex, American Express. I went to PNC, and I went to Key Bank as well. And I got these cards, and they were 0% for a whole year. So what I ended up doing was I packed up from where I was, moved to Chicago, and I paid my rent. I did whatever I did. I did everything with my credit cards, and all I had to do was make the minimum payments. So, and then obviously I did have money saved as well, right? But it was all on credit. So everything I did. So for a whole year, I didn't really have to worry about going to work or doing all this extra stuff. So I used that time to just invest it into the business and my skills and bettering myself. And that gave me, the room to breathe.
What? Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
So that's cool, right?
Yeah.
Because I would follow you on social media and I'd be like, you would say things about I'm traveling off credit, or you post a lot of content like that. And I'm like, how the heck is he doing that? And I would sit there kind of baffled, and I was trying to figure out okay, so the fact that you're saying I lived off credit, now I'm assuming I don't advise anyone to go get a bunch of credit cards and just live off credit. How, I'm sure you paid those off, or you paid them down. So what was the strategy that you were doing with that?
So for me, it really just came down to the confidence in myself and being able to realize, if you have a year and you have an idea and you stick with it, obviously you have to keep your spending within your means overall. But there's rent, there's food, there's things you want to do. So at some point you do take on this debt, right? So I was just confident in myself to be able to say, okay, if I'm going to spend this amount of money in this month and I have a year to, pay it off and do it and do what I have to do, I just have to make sure that I'm able to pay this off by the end of the year. Now, as I'm more advanced, there's so many other ways to actually carry that 0% debt for years and years. I've been doing it now for years after I learned more. But at that time, my mindset was, okay, I have this money on credit. I'm going to spend it. I'm going to live. But I know that I'm going to put in so much work that I'll be able to pay it off, which I actually bought a property with that credit as well, which, I did run into some times where it was tough and where my interest was no longer 0%. So it kind of pushed me a little bit more to make more money and figure it out. But it is definitely something that you have to be responsible with and disciplined, because a lot of people I see, they go do that or they use the credit for bad things and then they find themselves in a tough spot.
Yeah. So
it was just confidence in myself at the end of the day.
And what do you mean by, because I just want to break it down, because I want to, like you said, they use the credit for the wrong things. What would that look like?
So just buying whatever they want to buy. A lot of people buy clothes.
Splurging on themselves.
Yeah, stuff that's not bettering you or that can better you. It's I always tell everybody, I would rather, quote unquote, waste, because it's not always a waste, but I would always rather spend $500 on a course that could better me than $500 on something else, maybe a jacket or a bag or whatever the case is,
I got you.
And that's what a lot of people do, or they travel and that's all they do. You know what I mean? They don't have any other income coming in, because the goal now for me is everybody I work with, it's I don't even help anybody get access to money anymore unless they have an actual business and a plan with it. Because when I first started, unfortunately I kind of got anybody access to credit, and there was a couple individuals I've worked with that they kind of blew it. And I felt bad for him, and then I kind of reflected on myself and realized, like, I kind of put you guys in this position in a way because, you know, I didn't make sure that you were going to use it for good. Although everybody can make their own choices, it's all about just moving the right way.
Sure. And I think sometimes people, when they know that they have access to credit, it's like, oh, I have credit. Let me go put it on a credit card real quick, right?
It's way easier to spend a credit card.
It's so easy. And then, you know, you have, oh, how much access of credit I have? You're like, oh, maybe I could make this extra thing. But really, I mean, use it for whatever you intended it, right? Whatever. So, I mean, you helped me. The reason why I thought I need to bring you on here and even for them to know is because at one point I had I don't know, I needed Jesus. And I was like, this credit, like, you know the story, right?
Yeah,
I was going through my first property and my credit wasn't great. And I was like, oh my God, my credit needs to be at this point in order for me to be able to refinance this house. If not, I'm stuck. Or I don't remember if it was stuck or I had to like sell the property off. I don't remember what it was, but I definitely I had really low credit. For those that are listening, as a result of a divorce, right, my credit went down. It was just, I was not in a great economical or financial state. Yeah, I'm in real estate, right? Like, how the heck?
It's one of the most common things. I'll tell you that right now. Like,
is it?
Oh my gosh, it's way more prominent than people think.
Yeah, and you said something earlier about being in real estate. We just figure it out. Like,
have to.
You just make things happen. So I knew, I was like, darn, I need to figure out how to raise this credit. So while I'm rehabbing a house, I'm working with you trying to fix the credit so I can make sure that by the end I can refinance and get a mortgage on it, right?
Exactly.
So I know that personally I've seen it. Like, I've seen you work. You've worked with me, and then my credit score goes up, and I've been able to like get into a good what would we call it? Economical state, healthy credit state.
Yeah, just better, just a whole better spot. It's like I tell everybody, like, even if you don't plan on using the credit, it's just another advantage that you can have for whatever you need. Yeah. Like, it's way better to like have it and not need it than need it and not have it. And that's what most people do. You know, like, they'll come to me when they need something in like a week, and it's like,
it's unrealistic.
You know what I mean? It's like, we could try, but probably not.
Yeah, no, it's unrealistic. And I know, at least with you, I was like, I have like this many months. Like, we need to figure this out. Yeah. You helped me put a game plan together, which I was like, man, that would have been really bad. Like, that could have been really bad if I wasn't proactive about it.
100%.
But at that time when I first met you, I didn't have credit since 2018, right? Yeah. I've been living off cash. I don't even know like how I even did that. That makes no sense. But now it's like, wow, I have access to credit. You got me business credit. I got business lines or business credit cards, right? And I was like, oh my God, look at the state, right, of the transition. So you really do help people. So I could vouch for that, right? Yeah, that's why I was like, no, we have to bring you on the show, and we have to talk about credit, and we have to bring you on, to talk to the students about credit building, because I think credit's one of the things that most people neglect.
Oh, they do. And, for me, it's like kind of crazy because credit is the only thing that us as Americans, at least, right? And it doesn't matter where you come from, what color you are, your race, anything. It's the only thing that you can truly leverage to like better your situation and genuinely like make more. It's like you can literally get access to credit and then use the credit to get more credit. And then by that time, that's when you can invest in things and leverage it. And there's just so many opportunities with it. And yeah, most people just kind of, they skip past it, which for me, I don't understand it, but that's because I'm a credit guy. But like, if we look at, like the majority and the norm, it's definitely an issue.
Okay. So most people, and I like that you say you leverage credit to build more credit or get more assets. I think that's a different mindset than other people are like, well, let me use credit to go travel. Let me use credit to live a lifestyle that's above my means, right? Because that's when it could get bad,
that's
right?
When it does get
that's when it does get bad.
Because that's really when it does,
because you're trying to live this lifestyle that you really can't financially afford.
Correct.
Right? But you're talking about, no, use the credit to better yourself, make more money, right? And how do we do that? So what was I'm curious to hear one of the books that you love. I kind of can assume what it is, but one of the books that you really invest in, or like you go by for all of this.
So one of the books that I love overall is the Atomic Habits. Is a great book. It's one of my favorite books. And then relative to that, pretty cliche, but Rich Dad Poor Dad is,
yeah.
And it's so crazy because that was actually not even one of the first books I read. And at that point, I was a little bit more advanced in my thinking. Usually that's kind of where people start, like when they read a book. But for me, it was later down the line I read it. And it still instilled a lot of my personal beliefs when it comes down to debt and how to operate. Because, most people do live with cash and they think credit's bad and all these different things. But in reality, debt is one of the greatest superpowers that we can have as long as you use it the right way. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because obviously there's bad and good debt.
Yeah.
But that's what it comes down to. But those are two really good books.
Like it's always about other people's money, right? OPP, right? We want to use other people's money. Yeah. And I think a lot of people don't realize that that's when you have power. In real estate, that's what we do, right? We use other people's money for everything.
Yeah.
Right. So now where you're at, you have a credit business, right? Credit building business. Or credit repair, what would you call it?
Credit building optimization.
Okay, and that's strategic pathways, correct?
Yeah.
How long have you been doing that?
We've been doing that about 3.5 years now.
3.5 years. That's awesome. And what are the goals that you have for, like, I'm sure you're gonna do some more stuff. Like, I mean, you have real estate, you have the credit. Is that where you're gonna just stay around and dabble in that area?
Yeah, so right now my main goal and focus is content, right? And just spreading the word a little bit more, because like I'm at a point now where, my business runs, I have the model, I'm in the middle of scaling. So for me now is just like content, get my name more out there and just spread the word on how I did what I did and just help individuals change like their position and where they're at. And yeah, credit and getting myself into real estate is probably one of the main things where I'm going to stay at, because I can use credit to get myself into assets, and overall that's how you build like long-term wealth at the end of the day. And then, eventually I do want to actually start like buying businesses as well with my credit, which is going to be the next thing I'm working on.
That's the next thing.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I know I saw one of your videos. I think I shared it. I want to say I shared it. What car are you driving, or what car were you driving? And someone comes up and is like, how did you get this car? What video was that?
The Hellcat.
Was that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know all cars, right? So I'm like, okay, clearly it's a nice car. And someone was like, well, comes up to you. And I thought that was a pretty cool video.
Yeah.
Where was that video taken at? I'm just curious.
That was actually over in Blue Island, so that was here.
Oh, really? And did you pay the guy to come talk to you? That was a real guy from the street.
No, so that's actually my friend, and he he does like YouTube videos and stuff too. So
awesome. Yeah. Okay, well, this is great conversation. If you guys are just joining us, we're talking to Brock Marcus. And what we're going to do real quick is we're going to take a quick short break. But when we come back, we're going to talk more about his story and what he does and how he can help you if you are looking to build your credit. So make sure you guys stay tuned and don't touch that dial. right, we are back. You are watching and listening to the WISE Coffee Chat show on WRMN 1410. You can learn more about WRMN at 1410 at WRMN1410.com. And of course, you can learn more about me at wisealliancenetwork.com. You can just, I'm Googleable. Just Google me, Jennifer Sanchez, and I should pop up, right? And so we've been talking to Brock here, and he's been talking about his real estate business, his credit building business, and how he leverages credit for essentially the lifestyle that you live, right? I mean, you, and a lot of people don't know how to do that. But before we go into that, I gotta ask you don't drink coffee, do you?
Mm-mm.
Why don't you drink coffee? I'm just curious.
I just have never really been a fan.
Yeah, okay, because I was like, you want coffee? And you were like, I don't drink coffee. I was like, oh, I got sparkling water. Like,
yeah,
like I don't know.
No, for sure.
Okay, so you just don't drink coffee. I know some people don't. Some people like teas better. Some people, so whatever the case may be. But either way, I was just curious. I had to ask that on the show because this is a coffee show, right? Right. I just needed to ask. Yeah. So how have you been able to leverage credit to live the lifestyle that you have? Let's start there with that conversation.
Yeah, so it really just kind of started out with I was getting access to all this credit, right? And there does come a point in time where if you don't like pace yourself back and plan it out, you actually get access to too much credit.
Okay.
And which is like a weird problem to like say out loud, but it's definitely a thing, especially when you're dealing with like 0% cards and stuff. Because if I go get a 0% card in January, my clock starts. So if I don't have somewhere to put those funds, I'm gonna waste time with that 0% period, right? Okay. So it really just starts out as I get access to this credit, and I'm able to just live and do what I want to do by just keeping track of everything. And it's like life costs money anyway, right? It's like we got to go get food, we got to get gas, we want to do stuff, we want to buy things. So I kind of just use credit for all of that, and then I always just pay my credit cards, right, instead of paying with cash. Like I haven't used a debit card unless it was for like something I need to use a debit card for in probably three years.
Wow.
Like it's everything is credit. It's like as soon as you use a debit card, all they do is take the money from the bank account anyway. So I might as well pay with a credit card, be able to pay this card in 30 days or 60 days or even a year if it's 0%. And then I'm going to get points back. I'm going to get the cash back or whatever the case is. And that's how I'm able to leverage it. And with travel is one of my best ways to do it because I am also like a travel agent, right? So I own a travel agency. And when I mix the travel agency with the credit, I'm able to get special deals and then use my points to just travel and do what I want to do.
Oh, well, no, you got to teach me about that one. I was like, you got to teach me that one. I mean, you just got me business credit and the business credit card, which is a nice chunk, like a nice amount of money you got me. I was like, oh, wow. Okay, this is great. Yeah. But now it's like, well, now what else, right? Like now you got to show me that.
Like, no, 100%. Everybody always asks like how I travel so much, how I do this and how I do that. And it's like, I barely pay for like any flights. I barely pay for any like hotels. But it really does come down to a lot of planning and stuff, though, because I have to map out when I want to get more credit. When is the last time I got more credit? And then I have to pay attention to the welcome bonuses, too. So, like, certain cards will have a bonus where if you get this card and spend $5,000 in the first 2 months, you get 100,000 points. Let's say that 100,000 points is worth $900 or whatever the case is. And then I'll use that to travel. And the welcome bonuses are really easy to hit because what I'll do is I'll go get a card, and let's say I got to spend like $5,000 in the first like 2 months, which some people would say like, oh, that's a lot of money. But what I do is I just front load all my expenses to that one card for the next like 2 months. I promise $5,000 you're going to reach. You got rent, you got gas, you got food, you got whatever the case is. So I'll front load all my expenses on there. I'll get my bonus, and then I'll move on to the next card and then do the same thing.
Oh, wow. That sounds real complicated, though. Like, it sounds like a lot. It sounds like you have to be really disciplined.
Yeah, well, so like for me, I have it set up so like I have like, Google spreadsheets and things like that. And yes, I'm very meticulous when it comes down to like what cards I'm going to go for and knowing the products and knowing all these things. So it does take a lot of planning. It does take the discipline as well, because like once you get past like $400,000 in credit, you got to move a little like different because you have access to a lot, so you could do a lot.
$400,000 in credit, access to credit.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. So it's definitely, but then it also becomes too much as well, is what I was saying earlier, because you come into a time where you don't want this credit to just sit there, so you have to deploy it. And when you let the clock run down before you have a plan, for me, I made a lot of choices I would not have made if I would have just slowed down. You know what I mean? So I took on opportunities that weren't that smart because I was so worried about putting this money to work.
Wow, so let's break down for somebody that like has no credit, or because I've always heard having no credit is worse than having bad credit. What do you think about that?
Correct. Well, I would say yes and no. The reason I would say yes is because at that time, if you try to go to apply for something, the banks aren't going to like you at all, right? So in that case, yes, because even if you have bad credit, you do have a history, you have something established, and lenders and individuals can work with that to some extent. Now, in the long term, having no credit is better in the realm of me and you speaking about building it. If you have no credit, it's way easier just to build than repair and then build it. You know what I mean? So
true, that makes sense.
Yeah, no, 100%. So it's like what I do a lot of the time is, like I have little cousins and brothers and stuff. So, there's individuals I speak to that are like 17, just about to turn 18. It's like I'll put them on as soon as they turn 18 so they can start building up and do exactly what I did. And by the time they'll be 21, their credit profile is going to be stacked and they're going to be able to kind of get like whatever they want. So in that realm, me, like personally, overall, I think having no credit is better because it's easier to build it, but it takes time to build it too.
Sure.
So a lot of people think it's like an overnight thing or even a monthly thing. It's like for what I'm doing now and the moves I make now, like I was planning and moving in a certain way 3 years ago, and I'm still doing that now. It's like now I'll literally take out loans. I don't even need the loans, but I want them on my credit to kind of just build those trade lines and build those comparables on my credit.
Yeah. Then this is literally money moves. Like doing stuff like this is really, it sounds like meticulous. Like you have to do things way in advance to really think about how to navigate, right?
You got to be like, you literally have to look like 5 steps ahead. It's like you'll do something now that is actually going to hurt you in the credit space, right? So it's like I just opened up a loan. It was like $40,000, right? Which is going to suck for the next 3 months or so because if I go for something else, I have that recent loan. They're going to be like, like we don't know. So it does suck at first, but over the year and 2 years, they're going to see it's been paid down on time. It's going to be another installment loan or whatever the case is. So overall, you have to make these moves now for the years to come.
And it's like now where I'm at with even my credit, it's like I'm so protective over it. It's like don't pull my credit. Don't do this. Don't do that. Like, because I just want to make sure I protect that credit score.
100%.
Because and I know the date that they report now, it's always like the 4th of the month it gets reported, right? So I know like if I made any purchase or anything added on, like it could affect the credit by the 4th. So I need to do something before that date.
Pay it off. You gotta watch the utilization or whatever the case is.
Oh my God, I put too much and I got to pay this down because now I got to move my credit score because that recently just happened with the last refinance.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about.
It was like, I was at a 720 or so. I forgot what number.
Yeah.
And then I did something and then all of a sudden it brought me to like a 699. And like the bank wanted to give me less for that refinance. And I was panicking like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I'm 1 point away because of this thing I did. And then it was like, oh no, the 4th pass. Oh, it went up again. I was like, oh great. Thank you.
Yeah, it'll do that. Like it's super weird sometimes. And like it's super weird too because sometimes the things that you think are good for debt, like it drops the score. It's like if you pay off a loan early, your score is actually going to go down.
Oh,
A
wow.
lot of the time. So it's like if someone has a mortgage and they pay it off like early, or even if they refinance, their score might drop like 40 points. Now it'll go up over time again. Don't get me wrong.
Sure.
Like it'll balance itself out, but because the credit score itself is not really about the way the banks look at it. It's not about what you can get and pay back. It's about how much the bank is going to make off of you.
Sure.
So it's like, why do banks lend out money?
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
The interest.
To get the
So
interest,
if you're
yes.
paying things off too fast, they're going to be like, we might not even want to lend to you because you're paying things off 4 years early, 5 years early.
Yeah, we
We're not
can't
gonna
make
get our
money
interest.
off of you, right?
Exactly.
Unless you have a credit card for years and they're like, oh, we love you because you're
Yeah.
going to keep giving us this amount of
Yep.
money every month, right?
All day.
A cash flow for them.
Yeah.
So now you were talking about when we were on break how you acquired cars
Yeah.
through credit
Oh,
and
yeah.
you lent cars, right?
Yeah. Well, you just rent them. So you can rent them out. So you can either put them on Turo. I'm not a fan of Turo anymore. It's just too much to deal with. So now what we do is we rent them out like privately. So
Okay.
we'll just market them on Facebook. We'll market them on Craigslist. We'll just market them with people that like might need cars in the area. And so you can find people that just need a car. You can find people that do like Uber or Lyft or Uber Eats or whatever the case is. Or I haven't done this yet, but you can do like a seller finance rent to own kind of thing with vehicles as well. And it's like the method behind it is, this is another way to leverage the credit, right? So if you go get even $5,000 on a card at 0% for a whole year, you can go to an auction. Obviously you're always taking a risk with an auction vehicle, right?
Yeah.
But you can go buy a car or two. You can have a mechanic fix it, and you could sell that car for $2,000 down, get most of your money back, and then they're paying you every single month or whatever the case is. Now that's a little bit more of a complex way to go because you got to put you got to put a lien on the title, and technically they could not pay you or whatever the case is. But I like the rental game because it just works.
Yeah.
And it's super low barrier to entry. All you have to do is find an auction, find a mechanic, and then have the credit to go buy the stuff and pay everybody.
It's like houses.
Yeah.
It sounds just like houses.
It is just
right?
on a smaller scale.
A smaller scale versus
Exactly.
getting a house, having a contractor, right? And then
Exactly.
have them fix it and
Yeah.
then you rent it or whatever the case
Yeah.
may be. Because I know, didn't they take that? I don't know if it passed yet, the law where you can't look at credit no more for renters. Do you know if that got passed already?
I believe it's July 1st.
It's July.
It goes into effect.
Oh, darn it. Okay, so how do you
Yeah.
feel about that? Because now as investors or landlords, right?
Yeah, I know they did a lot of stuff here.
Yeah, so basically there was a law passed that you can't really I don't want to use the word discriminate, but you can't you can't tell someone no based off their credit anymore.
It's bittersweet because at the end of the day, a lot of the renters that I have in some of my houses, it's like their credit actually wasn't good. I just went based on their income. Now, we fixed their credit and stuff. But if I was a landlord that looked at their credit, I would have said no. So I think I don't really mind it, if I'm being honest, as long as someone can show the income and all that stuff and you do the vetting besides the credit. Because the way I look at it is everybody makes mistakes and most people don't even worry about their credit. A lot of the people that I work with and see, it's people that really don't even use a lot of credit and they messed up when they were 20 something. And it's collections and stuff from multiple years ago. And when it comes down to that, no, I don't think that should disqualify you from renting a spot if you genuinely, make the money and have the means to pay it. But then again, I also do think it's a case-by-case thing.
Sure.
If someone's going to rent and you see that just 6 months ago they didn't pay X amount of dollars and, they can't show the income, and then it's kind of I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I mean, that whole screening process,
Oh,
it's brutal,
Yeah,
right? Especially when
it
you're
is.
dealing with like more difficult type tenants,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
That are more likely that they can just not pay your rent,
Yeah.
right?
Especially in Illinois.
Oh
Oh my
gosh, with
goodness.
the squatter laws and the squatters and all that. I just know that
Yep.
I was renting a place not too long ago, and I just kept like I would just tell them up front, like, if you're lying to me, I will find out.
Yeah.
Like, I would just tell them off the bat, like, if you have any evictions, if you're in the court processes,
Yep.
anything, like, just tell me now. I would just tell them, like, just be honest with me now,
Right. So we can figure it
so
out.
we could figure it out and see if you're a good fit.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to hide things from me,
It's already a red flag.
that's a red flag. And guess what? Every single time it was like, I'm done with you guys. I'm done. Like, I made it a halfway house. I was like, I'm done. I'm done with people because I just couldn't. It was like everybody was always trying to and it's also the area that I was trying to rent in, right?
Of course, yeah.
You know, when you're renting in more privileged areas, you're going to have better renters.
Of course.
If you're going to rent in more difficult areas, you're going to have more difficult renters. That's
Yeah.
kind of just how it goes, right?
Yeah.
But, you know, I thought about it, I was like, wow, they're taking away credit. Like, this is going to be interesting when it comes to the screening process.
It is. I mean, they're taking out a large like variable, but at the end of the day, I think that it is what it is. But, you know, Illinois is a different beast when it comes down to tenants too, though. So it's like I only have one property here, and not to say I wouldn't buy more, but I wouldn't buy a whole bunch.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'll
So
say that.
you mainly invest in Florida and where else?
So right now I'm in Texas heavy.
Texas.
So
Okay.
I got properties along the Gulf Coast, Florida, and then, you know, we just bought a couple more in Texas. So
Oh, wow.
we're doubling down on Texas. It's a great market
Why?
right
Oh,
now.
Texas is a good market for
Oh, yeah.
purchasing property.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's good to know. Okay, so now credit building. So what would be your first tip if anyone wanted to build credit and wanted to start? Like, what can they do, like, to start building it?
Yeah, so when it comes down to building it, I just feel like people have to realize like where they're at. It's like you either need repair or you need to build, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if someone needs to repair and like get rid of negative items, that's the first thing that you should start working on, because it can take time, which, you know, you can take a look at the data, you can read consumer law, you know, you can reach out to, you know, me or individuals that this is what they do, right? And you need to work on getting those items off. And then relative to that, building the credit is all about just adding accounts, paying on time, keeping your utilization low, making sure that your personal information is updated and accurate. Most people have like 8 different versions of their name. They have all these old addresses and all this stuff, and all that needs to be cleaned up, because that does affect the profile overall, especially when banks are looking at it. And one of the best ways to actually add installment loans to the credit is you can use like pledge loans or cash secured loans. So you can open up an account at like Navy Federal, Achieva is another one. And what they'll do is they'll give you a loan, and your money is the collateral for the loan. So your credit score doesn't even have to be good to get it, because you put up the money anyway. And doing this, you can actually add installment loans to your own credit to kind of build it up. And then also backdate rent. That's, people sleep on that.
Backdate rent.
Backdate your rent. So you can use like Rent Reporters or like Rental Karma. You know, there's multiple, you know, like businesses out there.
Oh, I have seen this in credit reports when I'm screening tenants, and they're reporting their rent. And I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool.
Exactly. Just definitely keep in mind that like a lot of people manufacture it though.
What do you mean?
So like for Rent Reporters, for example, you have to have like, obviously you should have rent before if it's going to be reported, but there's ways to like get past that and like report rent that like you really didn't pay, if that makes sense. Okay. So it's like you can add credit age and you can add an account, but you probably didn't pay rent for those 2 years that it shows on the credit report itself.
Okay, I didn't know that, but that's a way that people can build.
It is. I mean, from the standpoint of screening, keep that in the back of your head. But in the point of building, like that's how you can build credit too. Exactly, 100%. And that's really good because you can backdate the account to add the credit age. So a lot of the time, a lot of people lack on credit age. So, you know, when you can get those backdated type of accounts, you always want to go on that and, you know, proceed with that. So.
That's pretty cool. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
So that would be your first thing when it comes to building credit. And I guess maybe even like inquiries, right? Like people don't even realize how inquiries could really ding. Goodness. So what's an inquiry for those that are listening?
So an inquiry, a hard one, is the one that sucks. And that's when a lender actually pulls your credit and it shows on your credit report. And when you rack them up, especially in a short period of time, in short, to the banks, it makes it look like you're begging for money. And when you have a lot of inquiries and all that stuff, banks usually don't like to lend you anything because why would I lend you anything if you're begging everybody else for money?
Well, so fun story, right? I got a car, and you know this. So I got a car.
Oh, yeah.
And how many years ago was this? Must have been the blue Jeep that I just got. So it was like 2 years ago. Yeah. And the what's it called? A dealership. I said, run it once.
Oh, they ran it probably 9 times.
They ran it 8 times because it's 8 inquiries on my TransUnion report.
Yeah.
And I remember.
Wait, now?
Is there still? I don't know if you took them off.
I think they might be off. We can take a look. We'll definitely get those off.
But I think we worked on getting them off. But I just remember, like, because of that, before I started working with you, I was getting denied 4 things because of those 8 inquiries that I never gave them permission to do. I said run it once, but they just, without even asking, they just ran it.
They do it all the time. Boom, boom, boom. They do it all the time.
And it affected me really bad.
Yeah, I see. And that's why I tell everybody, if you're going to go get finance for a car, please just go to the actual bank that like you have a relationship with, or a bank that is known for auto loans. Like, don't go to the dealership because, one, they can't really get you that good of a deal unless it's like a Kia dealership and like they have in-house financing and like they have a specific deal, if that makes sense. But at the end of the day, you can go do all that like privately because they will run your credit all those times, and dealerships will tell you, oh, even though we ran your credit 8 times, like the credit agencies know that it was for a car, so it won't affect you. It 100% affects you.
Yep.
And they're harder to get off.
They are.
Because of the nature and where they came from. It can still be done, but it's not as easy as everything else.
Wow. So if anyone wants to get in touch with you, Brock, and work with you, because I've referred you to a bunch of people, like where would they go? How would they reach out to you?
Yeah, so I mean, they can reach me on Facebook. My first name is Brock. My last name is Marcus. They can reach out to me on Instagram. My ad is Investor Brock, and then I do have a website as well, strategicpathways.com, and that's how people can reach out. So.
And what I love when you work with clients is that you have a portal.
Yeah.
You even put like things that need to get worked on, and you're like, these are all the things. So it's not just like sitting down and talking to you. Like you have a whole system. Yeah. For your clients on like, these are the things that we need to knock out so that you can get your credit to X, Y, Z, or whatever that may be, right? So thank you so much, Brock, for being here with us.
Thank you.
On this early morning.
Right.
And anyone that wants to reach out, now, reach out to Brock Marcus on social media, or Investor Brock _, right?
Yeah.
On Instagram. So thank you so much, guys, for being with us. This is the WISE Coffee Chat Show on WRMN 1410. Make sure you follow me on WISE Jennifer Sanchez on all the platforms. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your week. God bless.